Why, hello. Welcome back to You're Invited. You're invited to another conversation with two idiots who think they're better than everybody. Is that what you want to hear?
He thinks he's better than people.
I can't help it. It's a feeling. Can't feel bad about feelings. Oh, God. You all right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, good.
Ignore it.
All right. So, Koseki came over, and I was like, hey, let's start recording.
Instantaneously, we've probably lost about 20 solid minutes of content just because
we started
talking.
I was like, hey, you want to film now? He's like, I want to hang out for a second.
I think what we're going to have to start doing is I literally walk in the door and the camera starts.
That's a good idea.
That's the only way we're going to make this
That's too much work. Or just we do the zipper thing. As soon as we see each other when you walk through the door. And then I quietly set up the camera and then we just start rolling.
And then we go.
Because we already talked about Game of Thrones and feelings and politics and Fallout and symbolism and misinterpreting things.
Satire.
Racism, satire, American Psycho, Tom Cruise, Christian Bale.
A lot.
Yeah, and now it's all for nothing.
Yeah.
So this episode,
you get to pretend and imagine what that conversation was like.
And now it's all over. Anyway, so I planned on this episode being about mental health, but me and Eric are just going to pick a word that we disagree on, and then we're just going to scream about that for 20 minutes instead. Because that's what happened last time.
So much fun.
That was horrible. So we'll try to specifically not do that again because we want to keep this more entertaining than that. But anywho, let's talk about mental health. I was going to write notes and I forgot about it because my mental health is bad, or my memory, or my attention. I'm not sure, one of those things.
Yes.
It's like a salad of different mental health problems. That's what I got going on.
Salad of sadness.
So my thing is...
Salad of sadness.
Oh, I like the sound of... Where's Disturbed at? We need that guy.
Fool said I do not know. I don't know.
Is that Creed?
Yep.
My own prison. Anyway, so
it's whatever you heard.
What's the 3 a.m. junk food song?
It's a Matchbox 20 song. Said, baby, it's 3 a.m. I must be hungry. Well, the real word is lonely.
Yeah, I know.
We said hungry because
3 a.m. junk food.
It was a joke.
It was a joke. We were in bed together. People would talk to me afterwards. They'd be like, "Yeah, I watched your video. You're
pretty sure they didn't hear a word we said because they're just like laughing at the fact that we were in bed together. Two men in bed together.
Well, yeah,
because this fucking we haven't advanced. Some people haven't advanced beyond 1955, where like married couples have to be.
I don't think we ever
separate beds.
Yeah, so I didn't think about this. We never mentioned, or we didn't really talk too much about like why are we in bed together.
Yeah, to me that's like part of the fun.
But people were like, yeah, I saw your video. You guys are like 2 guys in bed together. It was really weird. I was like, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, so mental health. So
I don't owe you an explanation.
All right, so I am doing this podcast probably because of my mental health problems. Because
same.
Yeah, I need attention and a way to vent. So this takes away both.
I need validation.
Yeah, so if you told this guy that he sucked in the comments, validation, it just blows up. And then he has to do another video, and he has to keep doing videos until he gets some kind of real validation. Basically a never-ending suffering spiral.
Please. Don't make you feel good.
What are you going to do for him?
I don't know. We have like 6 viewers. I probably could jack off 6 people.
I don't know. I think we have 26 subscribers.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, you don't know.
100,000.
You don't have the channel. You don't know what's going on.
I don't have the metrics.
Yeah.
I just show up and drink his beer and talk about it.
By the way, like, I'm really glad that people watch us. It feels pretty good. I don't know why you guys do it.
Is that what we're talking about?
But yeah, anyway. So mental health. I have anxiety. Do you have anxiety?
I do.
Ooh, nice. What does that mean to you?
Oh boy. Where to start?
Take another swig, pal.
Right. Let's see. Anxiety to me is whether or not you have diagnosed anxiety, like actual clinical anxiety, whether or not there is something pressing that you should be worried about that is going to be a problem, it doesn't matter. You're still upset and nervous and on edge. It doesn't matter if you, so like the most, I don't know about you, but like for me, the most frustrating part of having anxiety is people saying, what are you worried about? There's nothing to worry about. Just don't think about it.
There's nothing to worry about.
And I'm okay.
That's why it's
I'm
why it's so obvious that you have anxiety.
What's your point?
Yeah.
Do you know how, like, I know you've probably experienced it yourself. Like, you telling me that there's nothing to worry about does not help. It just makes me mad, or worse, it definitely makes me feel like there's something wrong with me. Oh, there's nothing to worry about. So what I'm worried about, I'm broken because I'm worried about a thing that I shouldn't be worried about.
So
that's all that says to me.
So what's good about mental health, or a good practice, is to express how you feel. It's very important for everybody to express how they feel, even assholes or victims or pretty much anybody. So
don't pivot.
when someone
just stay on what we're doing.
Shut up. So when someone tells you,
you're going, I can feel it.
Chill. When someone tells you, hey, this is how things are, they're really just saying how they feel, which is obviously different than how you feel. So then obviously that seems offensive, because it's like, well, hold on, you're invalidating what I have to say. Like, how dare you insult me in such a way? But really, they're just sharing their experience with you in a more roundabout kind of way.
Yeah.
So like we talked to somebody at work one day. Eric said something, and then the guy was like, I don't let words affect me. And it's like, cool, bro. Well, check it out. Sometimes words fuck people up like really bad. Like completely paralyzes them.
Where were you when the actual conversation had?
What's up?
You didn't say that then. You think you just giggled.
Yeah.
Bastard.
Well, I have subtext. I don't know if you know this. I have a lot of subtext constantly.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly, when something very extreme like that happens.
That fucked me up for months.
So
because he said it so arrogant and cocky.
There's a guy that you know. He had a conversation with that same person. He was going through a divorce. That guy told him, hey, why don't you just get over it?
Are you serious? Mm-hmm. Oh, boy.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Hey, why don't you just get over it?
Well, if it's the same person who I'm thinking of, who on the truck told me, why do you let words affect you? And that just made me feel both worthless and like, well, first I was angry, and then I just felt worthless.
I'm sure, I don't know if
I don't know if he meant it that way, but
I don't know if to him it felt insensitive.
I don't think he cared.
But to me, like, reading the room, it's like very obviously you were like destroyed by that a little bit. So maybe he could have like also pulled you aside and be like, hey man, what's actually going on? Like,
yeah, I don't think he cared.
I don't know.
I think he was very much a person who they had their own way of looking at things, and they were never going to beat around the bush, and they were never going to try to understand people. And I think the fact that it was a person who had power over me really is what did it.
Well, it's like for me, like I'm constantly, so along with my mental health, okay, so I have low, this kind of goes into what we're talking about. I have low self-esteem because of my...
I'd forgotten about that.
What?
What we were just talking about. That thing on the truck, what that guy said to me. I'd forgotten about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was
It didn't hurt me or anything. It just like...
That was a very memorable thing for me.
Well, I remember it now, and it comes back as soon as you talk about it. But like, yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, that really fucked me up.
Yeah, but like, so I was saying, so because I have low self-esteem from my traumatic childhood, that has led me down a certain kind of path, maybe give me perspectives and maybe certain kind of decisions. So I mainly like learned a lot from my mother, she had actually schizophrenia, and she was also a Scientologist. Those two aren't really related, but there's a very extreme environment I grew up in.
Sure. Yeah.
So, but I also was shaped by that environment, and then the way I acted, like just in general, people did not like very much. It was hard for me to connect with people. There's a certain point I decided I need to like just watch people and see how like normal people behave. And I've been obsessed with human behavior ever since. So,
did you take sociology?
I probably should take sociology.
Because I think you would find it fascinating.
Yeah, I'm sure I would love it. Well, I think a lot of it. I just be like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know this too. Yeah, I know.
It's still nice to have something.
Yeah, because I'm basically like, I'm basically just doing the same stuff that those guys were doing, except they were like writing it down. Because that's how science happens. You just write it down. That's what MythBusters taught me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Science is literally just the guys who see a thing and write it down.
Anyway.
And then they test it against another thing they wrote down, and then that's science.
That's science. Yep. Anyway, so
In case you were wondering.
So because I'm constantly looking at, whatever, I'm also looking at like, what kind of life does this person lead? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then is that maybe a life that I want? Mm-hmm. And then what are the decisions they make? How do they speak? And blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed that typically the lifestyles I want to mirror, those kind of people think stuff like, hey, they won't let words affect them. But also I understand at the same time, like, you can't just choose that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can work towards it.
I think the people, and I think the real issue is that the people who they say things like, and here's what I feel about it. They say, I don't let words affect me. What that means is I'm not affected by words. That is not the same thing. You're not overpowering something. You're just immune.
Or numb.
Well, I'm talking in the case of this one specific person, but it could also be numb, yes. But like in this case of this one person, I think it was just, he wasn't affected by things that people said for two main reasons, being like, he was clearly successful in his life and he hadn't really dealt with anything.
Ooh,
so
man.
I'm speculating. I don't know him very well.
Well, I've studied human behavior a little bit, and I can tell you a couple things.
He's probably actually. I'm probably completely off, and it's probably the opposite.
No, like typically the really successful ones.
Yeah.
They go well. Oftentimes, not every time.
Yeah.
They have to go through more crap. Because you don't just get to the top of the hill. You gotta like drudge through a lot of times. I'm sure sometimes like, let's say a successful person from a successful family just learns how to be successful and there you go. Except no, because then they still have to figure out how to navigate life on their own eventually.
I think what frustrates
or
me,
they're just not really going to be that successful.
A lot of the big thing is we don't believe something unless we can see it or we've experienced it. And I think people...
Or at least something similar. It needs to remind me of something.
Sure.
Okay, well this happened, so that means...
I'm still using that
like,
one person as an example.
Yeah, sure.
It's
Mickey Mouse. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Fuck you, Mickey Mouse.
Fuck you, Mickey Mouse.
You bought Star Wars and you ruined it. Everything you buy, you ruin.
That was Bob Iger. That had nothing to do with Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is a fictional character.
Can I blame Mickey Mouse?
Sure, I don't care.
Fuck you, Mickey Mouse.
Your three circle head looking ass.
Never gonna promote anything that you do.
Fuck you, Goofy.
Or make.
Actually, no. Goofy's cool.
Goofy's dope.
Goofy's cool.
You still have to watch the Goofy movie. I heard it was good.
That movie came out in 1996.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it? If we listen to each other's heart.
I've missed probably like 1,000 movies that are popular.
Love is the reason why. For the first time ever. It's Powerline. That's from the Goofy movie.
Is the group called Powerline?
That's just one guy. He's basically like
the one guy's called Powerline.
Prince ripoff. It was great.
Well, Prince is pretty good.
Prince is pretty good. So this guy, I think it was as simple as he'd probably had hardships. So, but I think what we have to understand is that some people naturally, just based on their brain chemistry or what have you, some things outside of their control, their life sometimes is just harder than yours. Whether it be societal or whether it be medical, it just is. And I think some people struggle to understand that they might have an easier time than other people because they're like, no, fuck you, I work for a living, I work for everything I have. And it's like, no one's saying you didn't, but you need to have empathy for people who are going through something else. And for me, I'm on the truck, I'm bearing my soul, and I'm talking about everything that I'm going through. I'm talking about the things that are said to me that really mess me up. And then the person who I count on for guidance, who is put in charge of us, he's our leader essentially, tells me, now what he said was like you said, what he said was, well, I don't let words,
barks bother me.
That's what I heard. When he started talking, that's just what I started to hear.
Oh, is that the editor just adding barks?
Yeah.
That was like the experience.
Well, you know how like in movies, the sound will start to drop and there's just like a high-pitched whistle? It's kind of like that, just with barking.
And like you have like World War II flashbacks?
No, it's like they're just like standing there staring and it's like something they heard is really traumatic and they're just like, people are still talking.
Oh, and then like the visuals get blurry?
It's just like the blurry, but they're become really into focus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's a complete sidetrack of what we were. But this person who I was counting on just straight up was like, yeah, but he just goes, why do you let words upset you?
No, I think he said, I don't let words affect me or something
Maybe
like
it
that.
was.
He personalized it, which is a really good tactic because it typically takes the insult away, or at least softens the blow.
No, it's to give the oh my god.
I think it's like a face value kind of thing, you know, where like just take it at face value.
I just can't remember what it is.
Because then it's kind of like, I mean, you could interpret.
To give the impression of I'm saying this and it's not supposed to hurt as much, but you know what you just said is incredibly hurtful to the person you just said it to, but they can't say anything about it for a multitude of reasons. Mm-hmm. Not least of which being they'll look like completely weak nothing if you say anything at this point.
Weak nothing?
That's how I felt.
Jesus.
It made me feel incredibly weak.
I'll tell you though, just in general from my experience of like...
oh, you were going to say the story of what happened to the divorcee when he said something, when he said, why don't you just get over it? I would really like to hear this story.
That's all I've heard about it.
That's it?
Yeah, he was like, hey, he told me I should just get over it. And I was like, ooh. He's like, yeah, he said that he went through a divorce and he just got over it. So I think like, obviously like if a person can just get over things, you know, good for them. But also like maybe there's other, you know, problems that go along with that we don't know.
Have you tried not being sad?
My sister has like her coping mechanism, because you know we both had traumatic childhoods. Mm-hmm. She's told me just decide to be happy, and I understand I don't understand like why she wants to do that, but like I would rather be like miserable
and like honest.
Honest, yeah, because I don't want to like lie to myself. But luckily for me, I have drugs now. So
the thing about that is when you're not miserable, but like when you're.
I don't know if she's actually miserable. I don't know.
When
maybe
you're unhappy and honest, the moments when you are happy, it feels so much more real. And
maybe she was like suffering, and then she decided to be happy, and then pretending or forcing herself to be happy, like eventually led to happiness. But like to me,
self-gaslight. Those are rare.
It is. That's what it seems like, and I don't like it. But hey sis, if you're seeing this, I don't mean any offense. I just realized that like that's kind of your journey.
In case you couldn't see it underneath the camera, he was doing finger guns.
No, there you go. Hey, there you go.
No offense.
Look, sis. Look.
At that point, that's a threat. Oh, man,
no, like
pulled out the 50 cal finger guns.
Yeah. But yeah, I luckily for me, I went through counseling, and then I tried to go through the pain as opposed to just like running away from it. And then now I'm a firm believer that whatever hurts, you just grab onto it and you hold tight, and then you walk through the fire with it. And then the more I see people do it seems like the more they face their demons and they face the things they're scared of or uncomfortable with.
It is really kind of the only way to get through it.
It sucks. It's not fun.
So
it's horrible. Because then guess what?
So much.
You'll be like, hey, I learned this thing. And then you'll be like, wait a minute. And that will remind you about something you forgot or repressed. And you're like, oh no. And then you start putting together pieces of what you've been like running away from. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. Mm-hmm. Eventually you stop figuring stuff out and then it's better. But initially you're like, oh no, this is bad too.
Eventually you get through it all and it's like, I don't know. It's just bad.
So there's a famous
and then
guy.
Once in a while you fall off and it really you realize that you feel off and then you have to start over. It's the starting over part that hurts.
So part of the thing that helped me And if I ever told this guy this, he would cry because he cries all the time because that's what he does for people. Jordan Peterson, he has a little thing where he says, hey, I noticed a thing that people do that typically helps him a lot, and I've tried it too, and it works for me too. It's in my phone, but basically what you do is, it's pretty crazy. So he basically says you grab your life, you divide it into 6 epochs, or he said some funky word, doesn't matter. You just divide your life into segments, basically, right?
Okay.
And then you go one segment at a time, and the goal is you're basically forcing yourself to process the things that you didn't process at the time because it was too traumatic. So you just think, you just make a list, like, or just one thing at a time. You thought, okay, so what impacted me very emotionally? Okay, and you write that down. Then you go, okay, so what did I do? And then you write that down. And then you go, what would I have done? Then you write that down. Then you go, what would I have done in the future? So basically those 3 things you're forcing yourself to think about, oftentimes, at least for me, and at least according to him too, it helps get you closure on these different traumatic events that typically is just one of those things you just don't want to think about because it's so jarring. But then when you have like a conclusion at the end of it, it just turns into like a lesson, which is better, obviously. Obviously, like for me, I have so many things.
Yeah.
I've only done a few, but even those few have helped me like a great deal. And just kind of like that thinking of like, oh, I just have to think like, like what I did, what would I do, or what would have been the best solution or whatever, and then what am I gonna do in the future? And then once you get to that last part, you can just move on better.
That's the hard, that is a really hard part
Yeah.
I have so much admiration for people who do manage to get through that. You ever heard the phrase that people are better at giving advice, are always able to give the advice they can't take?
It is easier to give advice than to take your own advice.
Yeah.
But I noticed from Koseki and I, we didn't do our videos for a long time. I just didn't talk with a lot of people at one point. I was just like, I just over people. So then there was one point, and then we reconnected, and then I was able to. I gave him a lot of advice, and at one point I just thought of how I was basically aggressively helped at one point. Somebody noticed that I was in trouble, so they were like forcing help on me in a very specific kind of way. And then ever since, I feel the need to do that too, because that's like the best day I've ever had. So I would see all this aggressive stuff to Eric, like, you gotta do this, and I'm gonna keep telling you to do this positive thing. And then what was cool is I accidentally was telling myself to do all these things, because I would force myself to think of a solution for him. And then when I would tell it to him, you can't help but hear the stuff you're saying. So I'd be like, oh crap. And then I noticed that after a while, my thoughts were getting better. My way of thinking, I was able to form thoughts and then conclude thoughts. And my way of thinking was just so much better, because I was basically like talking to him. I was basically talking to me through him. Not on purpose. It just kind of happened, because me and him have a lot in common.
You're welcome.
We've been through, you son of a bitch. But it's not fair, because I thought I was helping him the whole time. Nope, just helping myself. Just being a selfish prick the whole time.
The part that helped me was I got a friend back.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Should cut to have like editing like hearts floating around.
How many
the
times
blurry
did I
like
sing
filter
in this video? That's 4.
You could do
now, I
5
think.
more probably at least. We should make that the goal. Try to keep a
that's
running
too
tally
many.
in my head.
This isn't like the meow and Super Troopers. How
So,
many times
okay.
can Eric sing?
All right, so let's see here.
It doesn't count.
Shit, well, yeah, it's got to be you. I feel like we've talked about
not what I meant.
anxiety a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe we could talk about depression.
Depression.
That's one.
Depression.
So,
Fiddler on the Roof.
so my thoughts on
Theater guys
depression
up there.
is I think for me, maybe some other people, we go through some heavy stuff, and then I can't remember what the phrase was basically like, depression means that you basically need to take a break from life in general, and then you basically like depress or decompress or something like that, and that's the point of depression.
So to me, well, the way I figured out what it's funny. I learned what depressed meant literally from a moving truck. In terms of, and it changed my entire. Right. No. It said depress brake to release.
Oh no! Oh yeah, and you made a TikTok.
I did.
Don't you have like 10,000 likes or something?
It's actually my most liked video.
Would you tell the brake pedal?
You're a piece of shit and your family hates you. It just said to depress brake pedal, so I told it it's a piece of shit.
That's hilarious to me because that's how some people had talked to themselves in the past. So it's pretty wild.
You are not a piece of shit.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
Family doesn't hate you.
I don't know about you, Koseki, but I don't let words affect me, so I don't take compliments. Oh, physical pain. I can feel that.
Oh, man. So Fallout.
All right, kind of over this depression thing, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I figured it out. Man. It turns out I just had to not be depressed. Wild. Anyway. Anyway, what I learned, what I figured out was that it's just pressure. It's putting your body under pressure to the point where you give up. You feel so buried that you can't move, and it's
basically overwhelmed.
And it's so overwhelming. You just feel sad. You can't do anything about it. You can't do anything. It hurts to move. It hurts to do anything. Everything is such a level of effort that you just can't do it. You stop showering. You stop brushing your teeth. You stop eating. Shut up. Yeah, I have depression.
Oh, currently? Oh, shit.
Medically.
Oh,
I have,
fuck.
Yeah, man, I'm getting kicked out of, places.
Hello.
Because of it.
You're being...
I'm being compensated.
You're being escorted nicely out the door.
Yeah.
And then
Soft kicking
giving you a... what's it called?
Severance.
No, like the little bag thing you get at parties.
Oh, a doggy bag.
No.
Or a party gift. Party gift.
Something,
Parting
sure.
gift?
Parting gift, there you go.
Party favor. Yeah.
No, so...
For the rest of my life, I'll be getting a party favor.
So random off topic, sorry about this.
Glad I gave you my knees, my back, and my brain.
So
Most
Derek...
of my organs.
Derek Jeter, gift bag, that's what I'm
The
thinking.
baseball player?
Hear me out.
Okay.
All right, so Derek, the reason I bring up gift bag, Derek Jeter would famously hook up with like these very, very, very famous celebrities.
Yeah, he was a superstar baseball player. It'd be weird if he just did. It'd be weird if he.
I don't know how it works.
It'd be weird if you hooked up with randos.
At the time, I thought girls just hooked up with rock stars. I don't know. Probably just anyone who's very successful.
Do I know what your name is? Did you show up in a nice car? I'm probably gonna fuck you. Seems to be how it works with celebrities.
I don't know if that's true. I'm sure you have to have a little bit of charisma, maybe some people
think you
skills.
do.
Just no social skills whatsoever.
No, I really don't.
Just be Ron Burgundy from Anchorman. Hello.
I'm kind of a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal. Do you guys want to watch Eric Koseki?
Many leather-bound books.
You want to watch Eric Koseki?
Why do you keep using my full name?
What's your name? Eric
Nope.
Koseki?
Isn't. Neither
Paul.
of those are my name.
All right, so Paul, right?
My name is Josh Robinson.
What would you think if Paul? We should have stage names. What's your stage
And you
name?
went with Paul for me.
What do you want your stage name to be?
Paul Atreides!
Firehawk? Thunder Kitten? All right, Eric's name. Oh no, not Eric. This guy.
You have to call me Nighthawk.
What's the other guy?
You have to call me Blood Ritual. I don't know.
No, you know what I'm talking about? From Step Brothers?
Yes, I don't know that one as well.
Damn it.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember.
I'll be called Demon Slayer.
Hell yeah.
And then what will you be called?
It's Magic Man.
How about Magic Man and Nighthawk? That sounds pretty sweet.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, so Derek Jeter, he hooks up with all these like famous female celebrities.
Sure does.
And then what he would do when they would leave, he'd give them a fucking gift bag. And then he would never see them again.
This is not. That is not my typical like mantra, but God, that's a baller move. Like
Baller, eh? I just imagine the look on their face like, thanks. Oh God.
yeah, the condom I used is in there. You might want to save that. It could be worth something
It
someday.
might be worth a couple of Derek Jeters. I took out the spermicide.
And now,
I only buy non-spermicide condoms.
the New York Yankee Genghis Khan. This is why people watch our content. Because I say references that no one's going to get.
All right, so we're talking about gift bags, bag. I forgot where the bag was.
We're talking about depression, but I don't know why. What was the... Okay.
Something about gift bag.
Gift bag.
When they were leaving. I don't remember what the reference was.
I'm just curious where the point was.
I just wanted to mention that Derek Jeter gave girls gift bags.
Okay, so depression. To give you an instance, Derek Jeter, probably not depressed.
He might be. Remember Anthony Bourdain?
That's true. You never know.
So I don't know what Anthony Bourdain
Derek
had.
Jeter, don't do it. People care about you.
Tom Brady, it's going to be okay. No?
He can just...
He's fucked.
That's fine. No one plays that long.
The amount of hate.
Takes that many pay cuts.
Fucking sports players.
No one plays for that long. Like, ignores his supermodel wife and his beautiful family and children at 45 because they're mentally healthy.
So, the amount of hate you have, Tom Brady or like just a billionaire?
Billionaire.
Hate a billionaire more? Okay. All right.
Way more.
Better watch out. Tom Brady, don't become a billionaire. Watch where you invest.
That'll be the day.
You SOB. But yeah, like...
Be the day I buy a black balaclava.
I don't know too much about depression. Well, depression sucks. That's all I really know about it. And then it makes you not want to do anything. It makes you debilitated. There has been a study I read up on. I still need to do more research about it. But supposedly, the way like depression and kind of overthinking kind of go like hand in hand. And also like thinking...
The depression probably leads more into it.
So also thinking inwardly. A lot of these things kind of like go together. So opposite of that, obviously, is think outwardly. Instead of overthinking, do more physical things. Like
try to
walk
take
around.
try to take things at face value. Like I know that sounds crazy, and it sounds like what you're not supposed to do.
Nice shirt, Eric. Well, I did say nice shirt. He's got to take it. I mean, he can be like, thanks, pal. And then he gives me the same kind of deal, but he still gives me the at face value response, that kind of deal.
Yeah, really
He's not like, you son of a bitch, you know what I mean?
I like how you cut me off just to say the thing you think I was going to say, which is not where I was going at all. And now I feel like an asshole.
That's what you shouldn't do.
Now I have to backtrack what he said to make sure you don't think that's what I mean.
No, I was saying what I mean. I was just saying what I mean.
That's not... You just said you don't know that much about depression.
That's true.
Come on, man. I'm the Tom Brady of depression. Actually, I'm not, because that would mean I would have had attempted suicide 6 times, and I have not.
That's the rule?
He has 6 Super Bowl rings. That's why I made that joke. Oh my God, 7, I think, actually.
Oh, because the Bucks?
The Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bucks stops here.
It does. The Bucks do stop there.
Yeah.
The Bucks stop
if you
at
guys
Tom Brady.
I don't know, if we find him hanging in his closet, I just wouldn't be that surprised.
Oh, he's probably okay.
He's going to be fine. Even though he did just apparently recently mention that he would come back.
I wonder if depression by itself leads to suicide, or depression plus something else. You know what I mean?
Depression, I think...
Because I feel like depression makes you not want to do anything.
It leads to hopelessness.
Yeah.
And you do all... And the reason we see so many successful people with depression commit suicide, I think, is because you see... they do all these things to be successful, to make other people happy, or create art, or create beautiful things, and then they still don't feel good.
Oh, uh-oh.
Why'd you do that?
I was trying to look at the battery. I don't know how, though. Oh, it'll probably just pop up, huh? Because we didn't pop up last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is 2 in a row. I'm trying to make a point. You cut me off. Sick.
I have a mental health problem.
Which is what we're about here today. No one wants to see that.
Oh,
Put your legs away. See how that feels?
Funny?
Yeah. Does it feel good?
Yeah.
Eventually, the hopelessness wins. I won't deny it. No one's gonna watch
I'm a
this
straight rider.
No one's
no
gonna
one
watch
gonna
this
fuck
video.
with me.
That's about 6 now. I've, not a full attempt, but ideations and things of that nature, and you get to a certain point because of there's just a level of hopelessness you get to that you don't think any. The problem is when you start to see no possible happy future. And you get to a point where what is the point? Why am I even trying? Hopefully you fight through it. You think of the thing, or you have someone who can show you the reasons that you can't really see in that moment. And I'm glad that I had those people. But, I think the most important thing to remember about depression is that don't cut yourself off from other people because you're worried that you're going to bring them down, because they'll be more upset if they lose you. And they will pull you out of something that you're worried about. They'll pull you out and save you. Anyway, sorry to bring everything down so hard, but I think it's important.
Who brought who up? That one guy brought me out.
You brought me out. Megan brought me out.
Nice.
Friends.
Oh yeah, that girl needs also a stage name. Sparkles?
Sure. I'm sure she'll love that. Sparkles. Love you, Sparkles.
Stage names. I don't know how to make stage names.
Raven.
Celebrities do it.
Raven's cool.
There's this girl called Doja Cat. That's probably not a real name. That'd be sweet if it was though.
It's just on her birth certificate. Doja S. Cat. I don't know what the S.
Doja Scat. Is that 2?
Remember when scat was a thing?
Is that 2 singings?
Oh no, it's way more than that.
Oh fuck.
I don't know what number we're at.
Damn,
Somebody
I'll
in
shoot
the
for
comments,
5.
tell me how many times we sing.
Just keep doing dishes. I know you're doing something else. You're just listening to us in the background.
Yeah. How's your vacuuming going? You missed a spot.
He's just kidding. You might have though. Oh, sorry, that was just a stain.
Sorry that the barking earlier set your dogs off.
Probably deal with the stain. Yeah, there was barking.
Yep.
We're a very unprofessional studio here.
Dawn, baking soda, and vinegar. If you have a stain that just won't quit, it's really good. If you're mopping,
I like ammonia and bleach.
those are the chemicals that make up mustard gas. They are though.
And a good time.
Death? So your plan is to poison yourself as we're in the mental health video.
So one time I took 2 cleaning products.
And just sprayed them.
One was ammonia and one was bleach. I didn't know that made mustard gas. Then I told people, like, oh yeah, I used an ammonia thing and a bleach thing. That makes mustard gas. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I died. I died.
Sounds delicious.
I'm sure if you just use like a watered down, mostly water thing with a dash of
Here's the
ammonia and
crazy thing. If you don't want the sliminess of a condiment on your hot dog, just make mustard gas and then eat your hot dog in the room. It's delicious. Still trying to figure out ketchup gas.
Yeehaw. All right, so we
I
talked
will nail it one day.
So we talked about anxiety and depression.
Those are the 2 big ones.
I mentioned self-esteem. I
think a lot of things pretty much just lead into those 2. Because it's like they only have like you're either up or you're down. And a lot of things really just feed into those things. And then there's obviously things that are like way more intense, like schizophrenia you mentioned. There's bipolar disorder.
There's a disorder called.
All of them, honestly.
There's one called borderline personality disorder. And if you're really jacked up, you might want to look into it because that might be the problem you have. I know someone that caught it and then she's a lot better now.
I don't think you catch it. It's not herpes.
I don't know how she got it. Probably trauma.
Probably. I think most things come from trauma.
Let's talk about trauma.
Oh man.
All right, so like one thing, I was watching Kevin Smith video on YouTube, and for some reason,
The director?
yeah, he was opening up like a lot about his mental health and his therapy and all this kind of stuff. I think he had a heart attack at some point. He has a crazy life. But anyway, he mentioned how he had a very traumatic thing that happened in his childhood.
Yeah, it was called Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
I like that movie.
All right, joke's over. Like, continue, please.
So Kevin Smith was pretty sad in this video, right?
What was that voice? So Kevin Smith was pretty sad in this video.
Started, yeah, I'm a slur. Anyway.
Just take that away from you.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and
Continue.
just kind of put that back, would you please? Just put it back! Put it back! Put it back!
Sorry, mister.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. Please don't touch me there. Only a woman is allowed to touch me there.
All right, so
All I ask is that you're a woman.
so Kevin Smith mentions that trauma, you can't compare traumas because trauma is trauma. So
Your brain doesn't understand that society has dictated that trauma that actually affects you, getting shot, and that's it.
well, yeah, so like,
Or getting the shit kicked out of you by like 8 guys.
well, also like supposedly,
I guess.
back in the day, they'd be like, hey, trauma is when you go through like a physical trauma from war, some physical like damage that you take, right? And then that changed into, well, now you could just have traumatic experiences, like more like emotional, mental thing. The interesting thing about that though is if you have enough stress, your body will get physical damage.
Cortisol, baby.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So,
you want to see what a picture of me from before I came in the thing? I looked a lot different.
The thing. Looked happier.
Yeah, because I was broke, but I was happy.
Interesting.
I'm broke, but I'm happy.
Do you think you're closer?
I'm mean, but I'm kind. Baby,
Baby.
it all comes down to
It all comes down to,
everything's gonna be fine.
unless you have depression and
Unless
trauma.
you got depression.
So another thing with trauma is when you have a traumatic experience, it often leads to a coping mechanism. And
More often than
oftentimes,
not, they are bad.
yeah,
They
so
are unhealthy.
if you have like some weird behaviors that you just keep doing and they don't make sense to you, why do you keep reacting in such weird ways compared to other people that seem more well adjusted? It's probably coping mechanisms
don't
from
even know it.
traumatic experiences. It took me a long time to realize this.
I keep a pen in my hand at almost all times, and I fidget with it. It's partially because of ADHD, partially because I'm in my own little world, because the real world was 1, too traumatic, and 2, extremely lonely, so I just made up my own.
Yeah,
Probably why I'm a
escaped.
DM now.
I escaped with TV and video games, but there was this really interesting thing that happened when I was a kid. I would always successfully escape, but then like it'd be like nighttime, right? And then like the show or whatever. For some reason, I remember specifically it was South Park. South Park was playing, and then it would end, and then like the screen would go black, and then like the virtual, the whatever you call it. What do you call it when you're in a simulation? There we go. The simulation that I put myself in, the simulation shuts off, and then I'm back in the real world, and it was like it destroyed me. I didn't know why. I was like, that's kind of weird. Everything's fine, but I feel really bad. And then I went to a place with Eric. And then there was one time I was in the dorms, and then I would go home, and then I'd hang out in the dorms, and then whenever the show or movie or whatever would end, and it would be quiet, I would feel like crap again. I didn't know what was going on. One day I just kind of figured it out. I was like, why am I always sad? Oh, it's just me being like lonely. I just didn't even realize for like a long time. That's probably like 25, 30 years before I realized that like I was just constantly feeling alone.
Yeah.
And then my trauma response for that, I assume, was just, I escaping reality, which is escaping reality is cool as long as you also like reality. But when you go to this horrible reality that you don't want to go back to.
You have to also be able to return to reality. And I think one of the issues...
Just snap back to reality. Oh, there goes Rabbit.
You saw me at the battle? I'm a grown man. I don't have any rhymes to go right here, so yabba dabba dabba fellas. What fellas? Wait, grab your left, make your right one jealous.
Huh? What? Anyway. But yeah, so...
if you can't, you have to eventually... What's crazy is when you have, like, things that... What I've found in my own mental health is you escape so hard into your fantasy world that anything that pulls you back into the real world against your will, you're instantly drawn to anger. And it's something that is completely small and insignificant. But, like, let's say, I'll use this for an example. I'll be sitting watching something on my laptop or something, or just engrossed in something. And then an alarm will go off, or the dog will scratch at the door, or Megan will be like, "Hey,
Sparkles?
Have you checked on the laundry or something?" Or what about this or that? And I just immediately, I'm like, and I feel bad because I'm like, these are normal things, but it's because you're being dragged against your will back into reality that you don't want to accept. And well, maybe that's just me, but that is a really difficult thing to do.
I'm sure, like, whatever problems you're facing or I'm facing, there's just an obscene amount of people going through, like, not our same exact life, obviously, but certain aspects, like, exactly.
I just, I think it's been a while. We've been talking for a while, so we probably maybe start wrapping up a little bit. But
I don't know if I want to. So I was joking about what's our friend's name? Our friend's name is
Blood Moon.
Blood Moon. So Blood Moon was like, hey, "I'm sorry, pal. This hour and a half thing, that was kind of hard to watch." And I was like, "Okay, well, you told us to do it, so it's whatever. I think it's fine." But I've heard complaints that is like, "Oh, it's so long. It's a lot to watch." I'm like, "Yeah," but then I made a joke. Hey, let's just do like 3 hours. Obviously, I don't want to do 3 hours.
I do not want to do that.
But I feel like there's probably like a happy medium.
Yeah, 45 minutes, which is what...
I want to talk a little bit more about mental health, but we could end it. Do you want to end it?
I think I do. I think the main thing I want to really sign off on saying is, it sounds cliche, but don't be afraid to get help. If you're feeling low, know that lots of other people feel low as well. And even if you may not think there's always somebody out there who, one, cares about you, and two, will miss you. Talk to them. Talk to people. If you don't want to talk to a professional, even though I recommend you do, talk to someone who will help you. Someone genuinely cares about you. And it may not feel like anybody does, but people do. So, yeah, that's my thing.
Okay, well, I'm in a slightly different path. I do agree with what you're saying, but I feel like try to learn other people's perspectives and then try to bond with people. That's probably the two big things that have helped me out a lot.
Exactly what I said.
No, because I think someone might take what you said and be like, okay, I'll just find somebody. Hey, you, somebody.
I made it.
I need help.
I said someone genuinely cares about you.
Yeah.
Does no one listen to me when I talk? This is not helping my mental health and self-esteem.
I feel but I just think about the people that actually need the help. Oftentimes, what if they don't have anybody that they feel cares about them? You know what I mean? So let's say this, all right? Let's say you're on Eric's path and you know people that genuinely care about you and you want to bond with them and talk about whatever. What if, though, you're a person that feels like you have no one? I think the next step is getting to know people's perspectives and opinions and stuff and trying to bond with them. And then if you don't have these kind of people, maybe that will lead you to those
Don't
kind
tell
of people.
people to just get over it.
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's one, it's rude. Two, you. Look.
What if words don't affect them?
Right? Well, someone dying and blaming, someone killing themselves and blaming you for doing it will probably affect you. If it doesn't, you're a piece of shit. I'm talking directly to the person. He's never going to watch this, but if he does, you know who you are. You and that former big boss we had, who he really loves, that I genuinely despise and hope he dies in a plane crash.
Yeah,
I can't say it. Can we edit that out? No? Cool, neat. Well, that's on the internet.
So I don't feel the same way.
I don't actually mean that in case anything actually happens.
It's just only in case something happens. If nothing happens, I mean that sternly.
100%.
No, like I don't really have well, I have a different childhood that makes me I'm a people pleaser, and I'm also like an overly sympathizer, an overly empathizer. So like whatever someone's going through, I can't help but be like, hey, maybe they're going through something. And then just try to care about them either way. Obviously it's difficult, like if you're really pissed off at somebody, but I also try not to put weight on my opinions unless I'm at a calm state or a nice, balanced peace of mind. Because obviously if you're angry, you think differently than when you're calm.
It's true. But other than that, we want to thank you guys for watching again, and hope you see you next time. Peace.